Balmain winning the toss and electing to run into the breeze. Oh, a mistake by Gary Jack in the opening exchanges. Parramatta immediately coming up with the ball 15 metres out from the line. Here's Steve Sharp handing it down for Mosley. 12 metres out from the Tigers line. Taylor. Mosley's in at ruck half. Goes himself. 2 metres away. That's the fourth tackle. Bad mistake by Gary Jack, who's seen the Tigers defending instead of attacking. A try to Ray Price. Well, what in the name of goodness was Balmain doing? Sterling put the grubber kick ahead, and Ray Price has jumped out of the ground and scored. I don't think I've seen a more lethargic start from a first-grade side as in the last 10 years like this.
Sterling read that Gary Jack was in the defensive line and not back in a covering position, which meant that there was no one at home. Ray Price followed the kick through and came up with the 4 points.
So there it is again from a different angle. I reckon that Roberts was going to have to give a penalty anyway because Sterling was taken late. But Ray Price played the whistle like a good footballer should. And there he is on camera, grease all over his face. He's picked up a try after just 60 seconds. Cronin with the shot. It's about a 40-degree angle. He likes it. The flags are up. And Parramatta, a sensational start for them, leading 6-0. Balmain coming up with a restart of play much quicker than ever they anticipated or wanted. Lydiard goes back with it. Parramatta's farewell match to Belmore Sports Ground. Graham, you were within earshot of Kevin Roberts when they tossed the coin. What instructions did he hand down to the two captains?
Well, basically what the big crowd that are here today would be hoping for, Ray, that he's really going to impress upon them a good 5 yards from both sides. And he did speak to both captains being locked forwards, and he said he was going to stress right throughout the match that both those guys play to the rules and stay involved in the scrums until the balls are out clear.
The kick from Taylor, it's done a left-hand turn. Taylor's found touch midway between the 22 and halfway. Balmain's into the ground. The NEC replay of the attempted charge down. But Paul Taylor, a man who returns to the Parramatta side today, finding touch.
And this is a game that I think that the underdogs, Parramatta, can win. I see it very much as a match that could be decided by the team displaying the most disciplined football. And that's something I know Parramatta can produce.
Roberts. Little knock-on on that replay from Scott Gale. So Parramatta get the feed now. And a penalty to Parramatta. Feed across against Benny Elias.
Parramatta aren't handling this early pressure all that well. A knock-on from Gary Jack from the kick-off virtually resulted in a try. And here a knock-on at the scrum base by Scott Gale has got Parramatta on the boil and Balmain under siege once again.
Balmain winning that toss, running into the breeze. They're going to have Parramatta looking into the sun in the second half. That's what it's all about. Peter Wynn, if he could have got that ball away, Cronin was in singing ragtime under the posts. It was only a matter of a little look. Here's Wynn with the ball now.
Parramatta are no doubt in my mind been instructed by John Mooney that there's a lot of yardage to be made by dummy half. Peter Wynn, Michael Mosley and Paul Taylor have been making big metres there.
Sterling again on his knees. He gets it away to Mosley. Mosley holds it back. 5 metres out from the Balmain line. 4 tackles indicated by Roberts. Sterling out of the play at the moment.
Win out of dummy half again.
Win to Mosley to Sharp. A long ball stretching it out to Laurie. Laurie on his haunches gets up and goes again. Shows it. And has tackled 5 metres out. Tackle number 5. Away to Sterling. Holds it back for Kenny. Kenny's in. Parramatta has scored its second try. And the second try coming at the 5-minute marker. Well, this is an unbelievable start by Balmain. They've piled all the pressure on themselves. Gary Jack losing the ball in the first exchanges. Scott Gale knocking on from that scrum. And the Blue and Golds have been able to mount attack, and Balmain have not been able to defend. And here it is, Kenny scoring their second try.
Parramatta are playing disciplined football, and Balmain are coming up with all the mistakes. You just can't afford to give this Parramatta side too much possession.
Well, I'm not sure where Gary Jack was on that particular play, but you can't defend from in your own in goal, and that replay showed Gary Jack trying to tackle Brett Kenny from in his own in goal.
For sure, it was the last try that caused him to do that. He was worried about Sterling kicking. This time Parramatta run the ball and came up with a try again.
All right, there's your answer from Bill Anderson as Michael Cronin converts, and Parramatta have zoomed out to lead 12 points to 0 in the NEC big game. 12-0 to Parramatta. Sterling to feed. Why wouldn't he want to have a big game today, Sterling, up against one of the really good halfbacks in this city of Sydney today, Scott Gale. He's sharp. Hit hard there by Bridge for one of them, and Brooks was the other. And now it's with Cronin. Met there by Wayne Pearce and John Owens. That's Sterling. Here's Laurie. Sterling. Kenny's put it down. Comes down to David Brooks. And Brooks is tackled 2 metres out. A chance for Balmain here. Elias the dummy half. He throws the dummy, runs into Sterling. Sterling getting underneath the ball. Ball played back for Brooks to spread it to Gale. Bridge, now to Pearce, now Jack. And Jack is taken by Price, got the ball away. Miraculous pass. Owens to Pearce. Pearce away to Gardner. Gardner's held. Can he get it over the line?
I'll never know why he chopped back inside. Had he headed for the corner, no doubt he would have come up with the points.
Third tackle gone for the Tigers. Parramatta defending, but Roach has passed it out the back. And it's in the hands of Steve Ella. Well, that was tremendous defence there by Parramatta to reorganise as quickly as they did after Kenny had lost the ball. Still, I feel that Balmain should have been across that line.
And that's something I've been looking for from Peter Sterling for a couple of weeks. He's been kicking the ball well, and he's been a good link, catching and passing, but he hasn't been doing enough running. The fit Peter Sterling's got to run if he's going to put pressure on the opposition.
The Cronin kick down the ground is brought back by Gary Jack and met there by Laurie over the top of Mosley. This is Gartner crossing the halfway. Huge crowd here at Belmore, probably around 20, 21,000. And as I mentioned earlier, it's Parramatta's farewell game to Belmore. Roach, Brooks, Schofield, Jerd made the tackle. That's the first time Balmain have really been able to stand and offload. Here's Owens. Jerd and Price making the tackle. Gale puts the kick up. Gross underneath it. Gross lost it. Owens has got it. Away it goes to Schofield. Cut down by Price. Gets the pass across through 2 sets of hands. And here's a try for Balmain. No, he's ruled the ball lost. He's ruled the ball lost by Scott Gale over the line. Here's John Owens, a handoff to Gale, and he's lost it. Well, Scotty Gale putting it down with the line just there. You could see how close he was.
And once again, Balmain pay the price in this match for a little bit of inexperience. They're a top side, they're a very fit, young and enthusiastic team, but somewhat inexperienced. On the other hand, we've got Parramatta. They're the players that have done it all, and they're having the luxury of their moment of being a big match team.
Ball played by Price. This is Mosley taking it towards the centre of the ground, just inside the 32-metre line. Long ball out to Cronin. He puts the kick in. It came off the outside edge of the boot. Well out. And this scrum will be down just outside the Parramatta 22. $12-0 to Parramatta. 2 tries in the first 5 minutes. The first coming after 60 seconds. Same tunnel. Well, this will be a penalty to Balmain. Penalty to Balmain. Parramatta's hooker down in the scrum, Mosley. So the tap will be taken by John Owens, and they're inside the 10. Conlon being called across now. Conlon choosing to bring it back to 21 metres out. He's on the 10-metre line.
Frank Stanton will be looking for better luck in this match from Ross Conlon than he had in the first round. In the first round, Ross kicked 2 from 6, and that was despite the fact that they still won 17-4, the Tigers.
That's the success rate for Conlon, 62.3. Those deliberate steps off to the left. Breeze against him, but not all that strong. There's his kick. Looks beautiful off the boot. He's got it. Conlon puts the first points on the board for the Tigers. Parramatta 12, Balmain 2. This is the NEC big game. And here's Gale now, 8 metres out. They've come up with the scrum win against the feed, and here it is wide to Conlon. He dummies and goes back inside, gets the pass away. Pearce picks it up. Schofield goes back the other way. They've got 6 more tackles, says the referee. Across the line, back to Gary Bridge. Bridge is almost away from Jerd. Desperate defence by Parramatta. Balmain stacking on the attack now as it goes to Big Roach. Back into the middle for Schofield. Back on the outside it goes. And the ball being played there by John Owens to the blind side. Elias dummies, then comes back open side, but he's held there. And that's 3 tackles gone for the Tigers. Played back to Owens. It's come away to Gale, now to Pearce, and intercepted by Cronin, given to Ella. Ella's outside the 22. Sterling, Cronin, Conlon taking him, ball and all. And Cronin forced back under the tackle of David Brooks and Ross Conlon. Lydiard going backwards, and he lost ground. He ran sideways, made an easy target of himself, and there was a very strong tackle by Clark and Pearce. Here's Sharp. Parramatta going nowhere, trying to run it out. You'd be better advised to kick it straight down the middle. Here's Price. Gets a pass away to Mosley. He's out to the 22, and they've used up 5 tackles, and I'm going to tell you, they did not go 1 metre forward in 5 tackles. Now they're spreading it. Laurie, and it's gone wide out there for Growth, and Growth is tackled. That's the turnover. Well, I'm not so sure that that's the sort of play that Money will be happy with. There's Price getting some attention. But here's Balmain now. Well, Parramatta wanted to play the game in their own 22, and they may well pay the dearest price. The ball has gone forward, and it's going to be a scrum. This was Price tackled. He got a good ball away to Mosley. Now the touch judge is in. It's concerning Steve Roach. Price is back on his feet, but he's, as you can see from the picture, very groggy. To Parramatta. Sterling goes to the open side, and he's tackled on his own 22. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this set of 6 tackles. Wing makes a valuable 10 metres, and it's a penalty. Penalty against Balmain for being inside the 5 against Clark, that man, number 13.
I think their tactics of running from dummy half are good as long as they can get the quick, fast men in there and play the ball quickly, because Balmain are an extremely big pack. It's hot out in the centre today, and they're going to be feeling a pinch towards half-time.
I think what was wrong with that previous set of 6, Bill, if I can just put the point, there was no decoys. Nobody was taking any of the pressure off the actual dummy half runner.
And they probably had the wrong men in at dummy half. They didn't want their big men, their big front rowers in there. They're looking for the small, faster men.
Here's Sterling now, midway between the 22 and halfway on Balmain's end of the ground. Belmore, a dust bowl, as we see the last of the Parramatta matches on it.
I don't think I've ever seen it looking so bad.
It doesn't get much rest by the same token. Here's Mosley sneaking out from dummy half. He's about 25 metres out from the Balmain line, and it's gone through Taylor and Laurie to Cronin. Cronin! Oh, he sliced through them like hot butter. Jack won't get him. Cronin scores. Cronin picks up a try. Well, the defence from Balmain was almost non-existent as Parramatta spread the ball quickly through 2 sets of hands. Cronin went between Gary Bridge and another. Gary Jack was giving chase, but Cronin's in to score. This is the mark of a great player. Let's keep our eye on Mick Cronin. He started out in line with the defender, but then he ran back into the hole. He ran where there was no defence. He broke the line. I think under normal circumstances he might have passed the ball, but he had a bit of a point to prove. He's had a few critics during the week, and he wanted to score this one desperately, and so he did. So Cronin will attempt conversion of his own try. He said the certain person who bagged me this week normally gives me 2 per year, and this was my second. But he said he threw Pricey in for good measure this week. So they've both scored tries. Both scored tries.
I know a lot of coaches that would like to have both of them.
Cronin from the 22 on the touchline. Balmain, shell-shocked. 3 tries in 23 minutes against them. Cronin from the touchline. It's got a lot of height. The direction is just offline, but not by much. 16-2 in favour of Parramatta over Balmain. Sterling's feed was won by Balmain, but Mosley's got himself between the ball and the back of the Balmain tunnel. Now the scrum's gone down, and it's a Parramatta penalty. Well, I've got to give Mosley some marks there. I would have sworn blind he'd lost that scrum, but he fought, he persevered, he called for weight, and eventually the fight, the perseverance of this little fellow has seen his side with a penalty.
Good example of not giving up that. They had won the scrum for all intents and purposes, Balmain, but Mosley stuck his foot through, locked the ball up, and a good Parramatta push forced the penalty.
Now the tap to be taken by Mosley, 20 metres out from the Balmain line. Across to Jerd, Jerd to Kenny, Kenny taken by Brooks and Owens, the Balmain second rowers. Away for Mosley again now. He's having a busy game, this Parramatta hooker. Laurie, Sterling. Oh, neat little pass to Price and then back to Sterling. And Balmain's in trouble again. Sharp looking to get rid of it. He's on the 10-metre line. And he'll play it right in front of the uprights. Taylor goes himself 3 metres out from the line. 16-2 at the moment. It could well change in a matter of seconds as Kenny looks. Oh, Kenny has passed the ball when he was over the line. Cronin has scored his second. Cronin has put it down for his second try, but Brett Kenny, I'm sure the replay will support me, he's passed the ball over the try line. See it again. The try in replay. Peter Wynn dollying around like a halfback. Here's Brett Kenny. I'm sure Brett Kenny could have scored himself, but Cronin is the man that goes in and puts it down out the back. And Parramatta leading by 20 points to 2.
A good ball by Wynn. Kenny hit the hole. No doubt he could have scored himself, but much to his coach's horror and to Mick Cronin's glee, he passed the ball on to Cronin and he did the rest.
Dubious put down by Cronin. 21 metres out. 8 metres in. Kenny, the man who gave the final pass. Kick from Cronin. He's not happy with it. It's away wide. And here's the score. Parramatta 20, Balmain 2. Similar scoreline to the one we had at halftime last Sunday. Sterling, Lydiard. Good tackle. Pierce the tackler. Sterling, Kenny. Here's Ella. Engrowth has put it down. Gartner's got the ball for Balmain. And a driving tackle on Gary Schofield by Mosley and Taylor. Brooks. (24-18) under 23s to Parramatta, 26-12 reserves to Balmain today. Gale, Bridge, Pearce. Down by Price and Jerd. Roach, Clark. Cronin and Wynn making the tackle. Elias. Plenty of Parramatta players going for it, but Sterling's come down with it. No. Kenny's got it. Here it is. 3 Parramatta players urgently going for it. It was a good bomb by Benny Elias. Jerd getting it out the back for Taylor. 10 metres out from the Parramatta line. Sharp. Sterling. Cronin into an opening, promoted by Sterling. Given to Laurie, now to Lydiard. Gale's got him covered, and a great tackle by Gale. The kick, incidentally, by Gale landed on the line, and now Gale, here's the replay of Lydiard. You'll see him kick. As Gale hits him, the ball lands on the line, meaning that it's out on the full. And there's David Lydiard. Is he talking about his back?
It was a very hard hit on Lydiard, purely because he had both feet off the ground. He was making an effort to kick the ball. Gale hit him over the top, and one can only hope he hasn't suffered a serious injury.
Well, he's already been the subject of a spinal scare in the City Country exchanges, Lydiard. So the penalty was given from the scrum, and Gale's kick, an adventurous one, but finding it about 28 metres out from the Parramatta line. There's still a lot of concern over David Lydiard. In fact, he's been replaced. Here's the ball coming down to Sharp after there was a heavy tackle by a Parramatta defence man. Hunter's gone on. He'll play wing. As the ball goes across to Cronin, stands and gets it back to Taylor. Taylor is tackled about 33 metres out. Now Scott Gale has gone down for attention across the ground from where the play is. This is Peter Wynn playing it now. There's Gale. He's a sick and sorry boy, is Scott Gale, the man who in fact tackled David Lydiard. And now here's Ella getting it to Growth. Growth going down the left flank. Tackle by Gary Jack. It was a good tackle by Jack. Parramatta's got a roll on though, and Wynn takes it to the 22, to Mosley, to Laurie. Laurie away from one, inside the quarter, 10 metres out from the line. 5 tackles gone. They'll probably spread the ball along the back line. It's out to Sterling. Sterling to Kenny. Kenny cuts out Cronin. It's gone to Hunt. He steps off his right foot. Kenny's got the ball, not held. Gets it to Ella. Ella kicks. Jack's underneath it, and it's out on the full. Oof. So it was Steve Ella in the final analysis who put the bomb up. They tried pushing the ball along the back line, and then when everything else failed, they resorted to the air.
We're trying to catch our breath up here. Imagine how some of these Balmain players must feel.
David Lydiard still being examined by Dr. Peter Manolaris, the club doctor. And it's gone away now for Benny Elias. He turns it inside. It's Conlon who can't pick it up. Jerd picks it up, but it's a penalty. He's offside. Jerd offside. David Lydiard is sitting up, and it is that neck injury. He had his neck in a brace for a long time after the City Country match. Now Price is getting some attention. Now, Graham, you've been over to the site where they're getting the stretcher ready for David Lydiard.
Well, at first, Ray, it was obviously just a very bad case of concussion. He still really doesn't know where he is. Whether this is the new Parramatta Stadium or Balmain Sports Ground. But as soon as the stretcher came out, he sat up and he refused to take it. He's quite okay.
So in the meantime, Price is okay, and you've seen Lydiard walk unaided to the dressing room. But there would have been, I'm sure, in the mind... Oh, that's a good piece of work by Peter Wynn. Brett Kenny's going across the ground diagonally. The ball bounces for Sterling. It's gone on to Cronin. It's gone to Ella inside to Big Growth. And Growth 8 metres on his own side of the halfway.
That was a bad mistake by Balmain, and if they are going to win the competition, they've got to get these errors out of their game, and they're getting them all done at one time.
Oh, Cronin's turned it inside for Price, but the referee's ruled forward. And it'll be a scrum just on the Parramatta side of the halfway. This was the pass. That one, I'm positive that Kevin Roberts was right. 20-2 in favour of Parramatta. They've scored 4 tries. Gary Bridge, Schofield, Jack looking to come into the play. Bridge again. Gary being watched by some youngsters from the club that he came out of up around Taree. They're here today to watch Gary in action. I'm sure they wish the scoreboard was reversed. Here's Brooks. Gale. Bridge. Holds it back. Roach. 20 points to 2. The scoreline in the NEC big game. Gale charged down by Jerd, and then Gale tackled in midair by Mosley and Taylor. And this was the action that we captured just a few seconds ago, and Gale was plucked out of midair by the Parramatta defence. Jerd is will be getting some attention in a moment. There's the ball going loose. Kenny dives on it. So it's play on. About 3 minutes to the break. Win, Cronin back for Sharp. Sharp taken by Clark. Second tackle for the Eels. Growth. Held by Roach and Pearce. Jerd. Made a quick recovery, Stan. Win. And 5 tackles gone now. Sterling has moved into the dummy half position. That kick by Sterling sat up. It won't go dead in goal. Jack has to hurry, and oh! Ray Price! Ray Price has come from nowhere to cut Gary Jack down. There's the kick by Sterling. It looked like a rather stupid kick, really. And then Price, chasing like a greyhound, has taken Gary Jack by surprise and chopped his legs from under him for a line drop.
And that's the play of the day so far.
Oh, yeah, no question about that. Sterling asking Neil Hunt to take it back. Away from Bridge, taken by Schofield. 32 metres out from the Balmain line. Laurie. I was only talking to a fellow this morning called Ron Massey, who, as you know, works closely with Jack Gibson now at Cronulla. He was at Parramatta with him. Cronin. Out the back for Wynn. Across for Hunt. But he made the point that apart from those 10 dreadful minutes at the cricket ground last Sunday, he'd never seen Parramatta play better. And And that's a point that nobody wanted to bring up in the analysis of that match last Sunday. But that was his assessment. Never have they played better. And I guess at half-time last Sunday we were all saying the same thing.
I think you and I had them tucked in bed, didn't we? They had the money as far as we were concerned.
So a worried Frank Stanton, one would think.
He's not just worried about the scoreline, I'd suggest. I think he'd also be very concerned with the way the Tigers are playing, because on this performance they can't win the competition. They're just making too many mistakes.
Ball played by Pearce, and here's Clark trying to hit it up. About 10 metres short of halfway. The siren is gone for the half-time. Elias decides to throw the ball. It's taken on the bounce and kicked by Pearce. It'll go out on the full. And that's the end of the first 40 minutes. 40 minutes that Parramatta will long remember. And here's Graham Hughes with his half-time summary.
Well, Ray, I'm probably going to surprise you here. I'm not prepared to write these Balmain Tigers off just yet. Firmly etched in my mind is that Parramatta performance against Eastern Suburbs last weekend. The key to the second half, again, will be the performance of the Parramatta forwards. If they can tackle and just keep on tackling, control the middle of the rucks, then the match will definitely be theirs.
20 points to 2 in favour of Parramatta as we welcome you back for the second half of the NEC big game. Stunning first half for Parramatta. Balmain with the breeze in the second half. And Parramatta running into the sun. Here's the total of the tackles. Balmain 115. Parramatta down as low as 77. Michael Mosley to play it. There's Laurie. Pulled down by Ben Elias. Ella. Still the pattern is unchanged with plenty of dummy half running. Hunt went on in the dying minutes of the first half when there was a scare as to the health of David Lydiard, but from all reports he's quite okay. Taylor dropping that ball down towards John Davidson's flank. And there's Taylor making the first tackle. I'm not sure what the highest count that Paul Taylor has put together is. He's just made 2, and there he is going in for a third. Taylor I'm talking about. He could set some kind of a record here for the most number of tackles made by a fullback in a rugby league match, because I'm positive he'll stay on the front line for the second half. Gale. Ball bouncing twice over to Pearce. Handling mistakes, 12 for the Tigers, 6 for the Eels. Roach, the ball looked to touch forward. Pearce backs up, so does Brooks. The tackler was Laurie. 5 gone now for Balmain. It's back to Scott Gale, puts the kick up. Here comes Sterling across, but Ella's taken it and taken it to ground. Sterling spreading it to Kenny. Kenny stepping and trying to get between Pearce and Bridge. Cronin. Mosley. Another 7 or 8 metres gained. Sharp. Jerd. Taken by Clark. Kenny's injured either a knee or an ankle. Sterling. Taylor. Taken by Gale. Oh, the pass was a mile forward to Cronin. The crowd. Very much a Parramatta crowd today. Of course, a good roll-up of Balmain fans, but the referee getting raspberried over that one. What's the story with Brett Kenny, Graham?
Right, I had my eyes on him halfway through the first half. He seemed to go over and twist an ankle. I wouldn't be surprised if we found him replaced probably midway 10 or maybe 20 minutes into the second half. He's certainly not 100%.
Bridge plays it. Gale with it. Pearce trying to buffet his way through an opening, but Ella and Laurie made the tackle. Here's John Owens. Slammed to the ground by the Parramatta defence. Don't have any doubt about what John Mooney would say in the dressing rooms at half-time. He'd remind them of last Sunday and tell the forwards quite simply, you've just got to keep tackling for 80 minutes. Gale, his kick. Taylor's across to cover. Taking it smoothly over there with Davidson piling some pressure on. The first tackle. Hunt away from one and stepping into the defence on the 10-metre line. Now it's to Mosley and Cronin. Cronin holds it back. 20 metres out from the line. 20 points to 2. 5-minute marker, second half. Mosley's had the ball taken from him. I think Jerd may have gone in and cleaned it up, and the referee has given 6 more. It's exactly what happened. Well, that's a penalty to Balmain. Jerd handled the ball in the play-the-ball contest. We'll see it again. Jerd goes into the play-the-ball and uses the hand. Elias struck for the ball, and then Jerd says, well, what about this? Penalty to Balmain. Elias taking the line finder, and they'll take the tap from almost the same place. No gain in ground, no appreciable gain. John Owens.
This is an area where Balmain sometimes use a tap where they decoy one way and pick up their fullback Gary Jack. So we'll see what they can set for here.
Roach to play it. Across to Elias. Oh, there's been some shocking passing by Balmain. That's about the 4th time you've seen a pass taken on the first or second bounce. Vital passes too, I might add. Not pressure passes, but vital. This is Brooks to play it. Gale. Bridge. There's the ball. John Owens has got it. Gale, taken by Wynn. Gets the pass out the back. That was a pressure pass. Brooks has got it. He's given 6 more. Yeah, he's nullified the tackle count. So this will be a test for the Parramatta defence. Gary Jack, 15 metres out from the line. Elias from dummy half. Oh, he's lost it. That'll be a... Oh, well, I thought he was going to rule a knock on there. It's gone across for Conlon. Coming back. Gets it away for Roach. Roach met by Jerd. Roach to play it. 10 metres out. 4 tackles gone for the Tigers. Here's Bridge. Goes for the grubber kick. Fielded on the bounce by Brett Kenny. Taken by Schofield. This was the kick by Bridge, but it was fielded on the first bounce by Kenny, who's playing very much restricted by an ankle injury. He's fallen back at the moment to the left wing. He soon got some feeling in that ankle when he realised the situation was desperate. So more pressure now for Parramatta. With Balmain having the loose head and the feed of a scrum just inside their 22. They've already had to withstand, I make it 12 tackles. Now they could be looking down the barrel of 18. A long ball out to Schofield, the run around on Conlon, the fullback comes in, the dummy to the winger, and Schofield is heading for the corner. Ellis got him around the bootlaces. 6 metres away from the Parramatta line. Across now for Conlon. Oh, there's the hesitation that Parramatta needed. Across to Bridge, spread out to Elias. Elias is going for the line. He flick passes. They must score surely. Owens to Pearce. Pearce will score. Pearce scores for Balmain. Well, as I pointed out as the scrum went down, Parramatta had been defending for a long period, and here they were on, I believe, their 14th tackle when something had to give. Benny Elias, he had Eric Groth beaten to the world, and then he flicked the ball out the back when he was tackled, picked up by Owens, given to Pearce. Pearce was going to pass, and then he decided, I'll go myself. And Balmain comes back to 20 points to 6 down.
I thought that Eric Grove could have stopped this. He didn't realise that his winger had gone in field. He could have made the tackle straight there on Benny Elias, but he stayed out on no one because his winger wasn't there. That gave the opportunity for Balmain to keep the ball alive, and then through some interchange passing, both inside and back outside, they were able to cross in the corner. A try that could get them back into this match, but I just think they're too far behind.
But here he comes. Beautiful kick. Oh, that's a screamer of a kick from Ross Conlon. Right over the dot. 20 points to 8 now. Parramatta leading Balmain. Gale, won by the Tigers. This is Bridge. Tackled by Ray Price. Touch judge going into a scuffle up that's been going on. Here's Schofield down to the halfway. Rounded up by Taylor. The touch judge is chasing the referee. He has been for some time. He must have seen something from a Balmain player, because Balmain were on the attack, and normally he would have stayed out of it and let them go. So what this touch judge has seen, to me, quite obviously has to do with a Balmain player fouling in the scrum as it broke up. Let's have a look at this scrum. There was the feed. The penalty's gone to Parramatta as we watch it, but as we follow the ball, it's one incident we're just going to have to believe the touch judge had something there that had to be taken to the referee, and the penalty goes to Parramatta.
Well, we must make the point that even though that happened in the scrum, it isn't a differential penalty. Because it's for foul play, Mike Cronin now has the opportunity to add the extra 2 points. Benny
Elias, the man who fouled in the scrum. So Cronin from right in front, 34 metres out. Cronin hits it, and he's got it. So Parramatta leading now by 22 points to 8 in the NEC big game, second half. Brett Kenny. Mark Laurie going to dummy half, the head bandage now. Growth. Taylor, Sharp, Price. Sterling cutting out Peter Wynn and finding Jerd. That's 4 tackles. Sterling gets his kick between the winger and the fullback. It's with Gary Jack. Tackled by Kenny and Growth. Gardner chased by Growth and tackled by him and Taylor. Elias tackled by Taylor. Roach brought down. This is a very tight defence by Parramatta. Gale, Clark. And the ball put down by Schofield, cleaned up by Parramatta's Ray Price. Away to Sterling. Short ball for Sharp. Dummy half win. A run to the blind side from dummy half. Flicks it back for Ella. And now Mosley goes into the dummy half position. Off he goes for another run. Probably looking at working something with the backs now. Sterling, Laurie, cuts out Jerd, picks up Cronin, and that's 5 tackles gone for Parramatta. Sterling puts the kick across to Russ Gardner. Around Kenny, taken by Laurie, got his pass to Bridge, now to Schofield, and Schofield is met by Growth and Kenny. First tackle, Bridge, Brooks. Pulled down by Cronin and Sharp. Gale, Clark. 22 to 8. Stanton getting some replacements ready. Kevin Hardwick is one of them. The 23, I just can't pick him. Billy Kane it is. Here's the kick by Gale into the Eric Growth corner, and he's found touch. Scrum will go down 5 metres out. Here's the kick by Gale. Fed by Sterling, won by the Eels. Sterling settling it himself. Taylor goes in for a run. Sharp will probably do the same. No, he passes to Kenny. Kenny to Cronin. Cronin fends off one. Ellis coming up and he's outside. Cronin's got Kenny and Ella to choose from. Kenny gets a pass away miraculously to Hunt. Hunt won't have the speed. He won't have the speed, Hunt. He's been run down by Gary Jack. 27 metres out. Parramatta with a roll on now. Ella to the 22 line. 22 points to 8 they lead. 17 minutes of the second half gone. Pirouetting from dummy half was Peter Wynn. 5 tackles gone. And they're still likely to push this ball. Sterling gets the bomb in. It's probably too deep. Although it's a terrible bounce. Kenny has scored for Parramatta. Well, what an awful bounce for Gary Jack. Michael Mosley would think he'd won Lotta. Look at Kenny smiling and saying that Sterling probably was far too deep, really. But look at this awful bounce. Oh. So Davidson looks on helplessly as Kenny simply puts it down. You see, Kenny was behind Sterling. There's no doubt that he was going to chase, but he was looking for a shallower kick, if I can use that expression. Then he realised, hang on, there's still a chance. The Tigers, again, behind the line, a familiar place, a familiar meeting place for them. As Cronin hits it low, he's got it. Parramatta leading now by 28 points to 8. Changes have been made for Balmain. Graham Hughes.
Kevin Hardwick in 21 and Billy Kane in 23, replacing John Owens and David Brooks. Ron Quinn in 19, replacing Steve Ella, who I'm led to believe has been suffering from food poisoning all week.
It doesn't surprise me. I saw Steve lying in his civilian clothes in the dressing room with a blanket over him only about half an hour before the game. Dubious feed by Sterling. Yes, it's a penalty to Balmain. Roberts indicating to Sterling. We'll take a little bit, Peter, but nothing too blatant, if you don't mind. What's the story on Peter Wynn down there, Graham? Is he nursing that left shoulder?
Well, he has called out to the bench. Of the Parramatta pack, I thought he's definitely been the quietest during the day. He's obviously not right, but he did just signal to the bench, find me a replacement.
All right, so I think that was Jeremy Lillis getting ready to come on as Roach goes up to the 22 line. 22 minutes of the second half gone. And this is Elias to Gale to Bridge. Back for Gale and then back inside for Pearce. Pearce on the 22 line. Elias turning and spinning it back, I think unintentionally for Pearce. And here's the referee ruling that the ball, I think he's saying it went forward. And here's number 24 on for Parramatta. That is Jeremy Lillis on for Peter Wynn. It'll be interesting to see what's wrong with him, Graham, because if they could ill afford to lose another top-class forward.
Well, forwards definitely been their problem, especially the front row. But in answering your question before about their strike power out wide, these are the guys that are going to win the game for us.
Sterling! Now it's Taylor! Gary Bridges mowing him down. Price has been pulled back into play. Growth will score. Eric Growth will go in behind the uprights. Well, Kevin Roberts, he had plenty to rule on there. Little Taylor, well, Sterling didn't have the pace. Look at Mosley, he's lapping up every moment of this, but Sterling didn't have the pace, but he just got out from the scrum base, and when he'd had enough, those little legs wouldn't go fast enough. There's his lookalike Taylor, and Taylor, He was getting run down quickly by Gary Bridge. Poor old Ray Price was minding his own business when Russell Gardner got rid of him. And then Eric Growth came along and said, I'll finish this off. And Growth scores behind the uprights, swelling this lead to 32 points to 8.
The master and the pupil as Peter Sterling faked to go wide, and then the big step off the left foot enabled him to beat Scott Gale. He realised he couldn't go on with the job himself, but he drew the cover defence, fired the ball back onto Taylor. Taylor looked for support on the inside, didn't have any, had a look outside. At this stage, the support in the form of Ray Price had been interfered with, but Growth loomed up. He went round, shrugged off a tackle, and improved his position for a great Parramatta try.
Eric Growth scores the try. Any youngsters aspiring to greater heights in rugby league? There was a little message came through from Peter Sterling and Paul Taylor there. They put their ears back and went for home as Cronin converts, but the message was, keep looking for your supports. 34 points to 8 in favour of the Eels over the Tigers.
But more changes now. Hemsley and Michael Marquito to replace both front rowers, Clark and Steve Roach.
I'm just wondering, Bill, whether this consistent dummy half running has seen these two changes being made.
It's a very hot day, and Parramatta's tactics of working up the middle, of playing the ball quickly, have tied the Balmain forwards out, and Frank Stanton's been forced to make changes.
Well, there's only 2 left from the original pack, and there's still 15 minutes to go. Those 2 are Benny Elias and Wayne Pearce. Here's a penalty to Parramatta. He's ruled that Benny Elias struck prematurely there. Six tries to 1.
Fairly brave move by Frank Stanton. He's used up his 4 replacements, and should now any of his existing 13 on the field come up with an injury, he's either got to leave him there or play with 12.
Kenny getting his pass to Sharp. Sharp to play it midway between the 22 and the halfway. Balmain's into the ground as Jerd goes ahead, loses it. Cleaned up by Michael Marquito for Balmain. Hemsley wants a run. This is him. The crowd roars as they believe the pass from Hardwick to Hemsley was forward.
The other thought, you know, on the 4 replacements that Frank Stanton's made is he might have well said to these 4, well, I can't win the competition with the pack I've had, but Parramatta have proven that. Go out there and show me that you're worth a spot.
Pearce, Jack over the halfway line, inside the 32. He'll go all the way. Growth, oh, he's made a desperate lunge and got him. It's still a try, is it? No, the referee ruling a Parramatta ball. Well, Growth has hurt himself in making that desperate tackle. Gary Jack was home, and Growth lets go about here, and an almighty leap brings Gary Jack down with the line in his sights. Growth was winded. Here's Cronin. 34 to 8 in favour of the Eels. Cronin's hurt. Hemsley now to play it. 20 metres out from the Parramatta line. Gale, there's that umbrella defence of Parramatta is perfectly typified there for you. Gale was keen to get that ball wide. They've got a stack of players out wide. And Parramatta's umbrella defence is coming up and turning them back all the time. It's out to Jack. Now it's with Pearce. And this is where they've been trying to get the ball for the last 3 plays. They've succeeded this time. Conlon floats it inside for Jack. He loses it. Diving on the ball for Parramatta is Mark Laurie, who appears injured. Here's the replay of just how close the Tigers came to putting points on the board. Sharp. Stroke confidence creeping into the game of Stephen Sharp, a game that is pretty much straight up and down. A great worker, but there he was dummying to kick. And here's a kick finding touch for Parramatta. Off the boot of that little fellow Taylor. But what a game in contrast has Taylor had with the Australian fullback Gary Jack today.
Very much an underestimated player, Paul Taylor. He does many things in the game that some people don't notice, falling on loose balls and getting in the front line and tackling and so on, but Parramatta couldn't be without him.
Of course, it's all very well to talk about fullbacks and halfbacks and the like, their comparative performances, but if your forwards have been beaten, then it's very hard playing from behind them. And here's Gale. Away for Hardwick to spill it, and it's picked up by Taylor. Held by Schofield, looking to pass. Elias has to come over the top. I can see Mosley calling to the bench, get out here. I think he might have a mouthful of Belmore dust, as a matter of fact. Could well be a lack of oxygen to the lungs that's causing Mosley his problem at the moment. Away for Sterling, handed down for Mark Laurie. Jerd is the dummy half. Here's Sterling, the grubber kick. He found the fullback up in the line or over there. Look at Quinn going quickly, and Gary Jack has had to come from over near the scoreboard corner to kick it out. 34 to 8. As Jack came across from being adjacent or behind the actual play of the ball. And this line dropout will see Balmain again under pressure. Mosley is off. And Don Price has gone on. Here's Hunt. So I can only assume from that Steve Sharp would become the hooker.
Or Stan Jerd. Stan started his career in grade football as a hooker. He's outgrown that position, but
Price on the Balmain 22 line. Sterling, Jerd. Here's Don Price with the ball now. Don Price still going, the big fellow, but he's tackled 8 metres out from the line. Dummy half is a Sharp. It's gone to Peter Sterling. He dances and he's in. Peter Sterling has scored one of his own tries. When I say that, he created it and he put the icing on it. Peter Sterling, the try scorer. And that is Parramatta's 7th try. He mightn't be the fastest man on 2 feet, but I'll tell you what, he's very elusive.
this is an ominous sign for other coaches with teams in the semi-finals, and that is Peter Sterling's decided now that he has got the legs to run the ball.
Cronin kicks the goal, and so the score, Parramatta 40, Balmain 8. Well, Graham, we've looked at Parramatta upside down and every which way. This performance today, 7 tries. What about a thought for Balmain?
Well, how about a sobering one for the Tigers, Ray? I remember back in 1979, the last round of the Premiership. In fact, we were beaten by nearly 30 points by Manly. At that stage, that was a Saturday match. We weren't in the top 5. We needed South to come out and beat the Tigers the next day, which they did. We found ourselves in the 5, and we're only just pipped in the grand final by the Saints. So anybody who wants to write the Tigers off tomorrow morning in the press, or even in the conversations around all the pubs and clubs, you just can't. They're too good a side.
Lillis to play it inside the 22. Sharp. Price running like a winger out there on the right flank. Here's Laurie now. Jerd putting it down the scrum on the halfway almost. Here's Gale. foul to the blind. Wayne Pearce. Penalty to Balmain. Don Price is injured. Touching the base of his neck. Hunt made the tackle on Pearce. Davidson tried to pick it up. Slammed to the ground by Price. That brought the penalty to Balmain. Pearce. Davidson. Kane now tackled, 15 metres up. Elias taken by Ron Quinn, shrugs off Gary Jack, gives it to Eric Grace. Grace going down the left, herded in field by Schofield. Don Price. The final siren about to sound. It must only be seconds away. Sterling. This is Laurie bursting into an opening. And there's the siren. The crowd goes up as one. And it certainly is a joyous farewell from Parramatta to Belmore Sports Ground. Winning by 40 points to 8. Kenny and Cronin 2 tries each. Price, Groth and Sterling each a try. Cronin 6 goals. And Balmain, Pearce a try. Conlon 2 goals.
I think, of course, that's the one way to answer your critics.
Oh, yes, you know, everyone knows what happened last week. For 10 minutes we blacked out and, you know, the people sort of said it was a finish of Parramatta. We had a week to think about all the criticism. I hope today, you know, we showed what we can do and concentrate on football for the full 80 minutes.
Can I let everybody in on the secret? What's this magic drug that the aging veteran might be using?
Oh, no, aging drug. I just like playing the game, you know, and I don't like playing badly, so...
Congratulations, well played.
Right, thanks very much.
OK, so it's Parramatta back on the rails in the hunt for the Winfield Cup. After this break, our man of the match.
Display by Parramatta here at the Belmore Sports Ground. Our man of the match amongst a host of good players is the Eels captain, Ray Price. Congratulations, Ray. During the week you said that Parramatta would never play as badly again as they did against Eastern Suburbs. Was that your answer to your critics?
No, that was the answer. Firstly, thanks very much for the award. You've made my young bloke very happy. Yeah, well, what happened last week, the only thing we could do is put it behind us. It was no use worrying about it. It happened. You've got to get back on with it. And I don't think you'll ever see a Parramatta side ever get 10 points in front and let it whittle away.
How big a part did Parramatta's big match experience and Balmain's inexperience play in today's result?
Well, mate, I think we can thank a lot of the critics, the so-called critics that think they know rugby league. All through the week, all they've done is bagged and ridiculed and criticised our forwards, our backs. Crow and myself, we're too old, we're over the hill. Mate, I hope they do it every week.
Well, once again, for taking today's Man of the Match award, you'll receive from NEC the Game Ball trophy and also a cheque for $500.
I'd like to thank Channel 10 and NEC. Thanks very much.
Wayne, you were on your heels right from the very start.
Yeah, a couple of uncharacteristic errors in our own quarter by a couple of blokes early on, cost us 2 tries, and from then on we were backpedaling for virtually the whole match.
At least it's not going to really cost you anything. You're still going to be in there with 2 chances.
Yeah, we were hoping to take out the minor premiership, and that's all gone down the drain now. So, you know, we're still in the top 3. We want to stay there after next week, and you know, a little bit disappointed at the moment, but we'll lift ourselves and we'll go well in the semis, I'm sure.
John, to me, it looked like a side that was very dirty on themselves from last weekend.
Well, it was a very tough week for the players and for myself, and you know, it was just great to come back like that, and the players were very determined. But I think the thing we can't lose track of is that, you know, possibly we weren't as bad as the critics said we were last week, and you know, I don't think we're honestly as good as the critics are going to say we were this week. We got a magic start, and so, you know, we've got to keep the whole thing in perspective. But they were the leaders of the competition, and they